What's up, guys? It's Colton Lindsay here, coming at you live inside of the Fearless Agent Facebook group. Before you guys get into this video, put in the comments below where you're from. I want to know where you guys are from, and put if you're a fearless agent or not. Today we're going to be talking about how do you actually sign more listing contracts, and this is one of my favorite topics, right? When I was really extremely active in sales, where I was just nailing out, 12 to 15 listings per month on my own, it became a game for me. It became fun for me. But I remember there was this one time early on in my career, and I had some success. How many of you might have had some success early on, and then all of a sudden you went dry for a minute? I remember I went about 20 appointments in a row, 15 to 20 appointments in a row without getting a contract signed. I was devastated. I was down on my luck. I was just bummed. I was beat up. And I remember talking to Bob. I said, Bob, here's what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And I told him I wanted to get to a next level with my listings. And he said the secret to getting more listing contracts signed is to lose fewer. Okay? I'm going to write that in the comments below. It's to lose fewer of the appointments that you go on. And even more than that, if you never get to go on the appointment to present, if you never even actually get to meet with the seller, then you're losing that opportunity. So 2 steps here, guys, to sign more contracts is 1, get on more appointments. 2, get more of your appointments signed. Well, Colton, that's super cool. You got to do that, but how do you do it, right? Give me some thumbs up if you want to know how to do it. This is the one thing that really launched me to go over the edge when I had struck out so many times in a row. And then I went further on to, it was actually a month of October, several years ago. I remember October, I signed 16 listing agreements in 1 month by myself. 16! That's a lot of them. And guess what? 75% of those were either for sell by owners, expireds, or cold calls. These weren't referrals I was getting, guys. This was just from doing the work. Okay, but what was it that allowed me to lose fewer listings that you can do immediately right now? Well, Bob said, get great at your skill set. As we know, there's 3 things fearless agents focus on: your skills, your schedules, and your systems. So what are the skills you got to get great at right now? Well, you got to get great at setting the appointment, like Chance said, with motivated sellers and helping them discover their motivation by getting great at asking those fear of loss questions. So if there's 2 things that I recommend you just get amazing at, it would be number 1 is get great at asking the magic question. See, the magic question works on a for sale by owner, on an expired, on a cold call, on a referral, does not matter. If you have a seller that is considering to move their house and go through all that trouble, think about how much trouble it is to sell your house. You got to clean up all the clutter, you got to clean up all the stuff, you got to get your financing in order, you got to get everything set up, you got your wife and your kids, or you got your spouse and your kids to deal with, right? It's a lot of work to move. So find that person that's willing to deal with all that stress, that's willing to go and do it, and get really great at converting that person to an appointment. So spend all day focusing on getting great at that magic question and getting that question answered, okay? And then the more people you get to ask that question to, the better. That's where you have to be consistently calling. Second part is the presentation. If there's actually I'm going to show you 2 parts to get amazing at with the Fearless Agent presentation. The first is get awesome at the introduction. See, when you get great at the introduction, you start it off with this energy that you go into your zone, your fearless agent zone, so to speak, to where you know you're in control of this meeting, and at the end of it, they're going to be so blown away, they're going to sign your contract. How many of you want more contracts signed? Put yes in the comments. So that's the number 1 secret for your listing presentation, your fearless agent presentation, is get really great at that introduction, because that sets you into go time. The second part to get amazing at are the fear of loss questions. You know, the questions where you're finding out what they expect from you and where they're moving and what happens if this doesn't go, you know what I mean? Now, here's one of the challenges you may be facing if you're newer to this presentation, is you might be having a struggle on the space in between the questions, right? So if you listen to the audio and you go through the presentation, it's giving you some major key questions to ask. It's the questions in between you got to get really great at as well. When you can stack their problems up a little bit more, when you can take them on that emotional journey of, holy shit, this is a lot of work, I got to work with a fearless agent to get it done, that in my experience, after nearly 12 years of being in real estate, 11 of which have been a fearless agent, has signed me more agreements than any other strategy I thought was a better idea. It was getting amazing at asking those questions, stacking the problems, and creating that fear of loss, and then magically, voila, I am the guy that can help you with the solution with my magic plan. And here's a little secret. I very rarely ever talk about, in fact, by very rarely, I never ever talk about what I'm going to do for them. I only ask what they want from me and what they expect and what their result is that they're looking for. And I listen to them and I affirm it and I dig deeper with the questions. So let me give you an example of what I mean by this. So currently they're moving to the south end of Salt Lake City from Weber County, which is probably about a 60-mile move. And the reason why is because the commute is just crazy, right? So you find out, well, what makes you want to move to the other end of Salt? What takes you down there? Sounds like a great opportunity. Well, you know what? The commute is just too long. I'm spending, too much time doing it. Oh, okay. So how much time is that commute taking out of your day? 2 hours? Wow, 2 hours is a lot of time. What other things would you rather be doing than driving that commute? You'd rather be spending time with your kids? Oh, wow, you're kidding me. So sounds like my job is to sell your house for the top dollar to get you to the other side of Salt Lake City so you can spend more time with your kids and stop wasting your time driving, right? How does it feel knowing that you're wasting so much time driving and away from your kids? Oh my gosh, I can imagine. I've got kids myself. It doesn't feel great. So is that the only reason you're moving down there? Oh, you're getting an increased pay as well. So what would that do if you were unable to increase your pay and taking this job and making the move? Oh, you're taking it no matter what because that increased pay, you're just going to have to suffer with that commute until then. Oh, okay. So also your family lives down that way as well, so they can help with the kids as well with sports and activities. Okay, so it sounds like my job is to get you closer to work so you can make that bigger income and also be closer to your family. Is that what the goal is? Okay, awesome, appreciate that. So that is an example of problem stacking. See, just the commute was the start, but then not spending time with the kids was the next step. The increased income was the next step, right? So you gotta get really great and go read the book Spin Selling. Now, this isn't gonna happen overnight, guys. I've been working on this 11, 12 years. Bob didn't just get up and start teaching agents how to use this system overnight. He just didn't fart it out of his rear end like rainbows, right? He literally had to lay up nights, sleepless, putting these little things together. You know what I'm talking about when you're laying in bed at night thinking shit through? Bob done this for years. I have studied this for years. So my point with that is it's not gonna happen overnight. Read the book Outliers, and there's a rule called the 10,000 hour rule. The more you focus on this, the better you're gonna get at it. And those that do it for 10,000 hours become masters. Those that do it for $8,000, they stay amateur. Those that do it for 6,000 hours, they stay average. So you gotta choose, where do I wanna be? Average, amateur, or the best? I want to be the best, so that means I got to put more time in every single day. So what I did is I focused on these two things. And every morning for 1 hour and every evening for 1 hour, I studied my scripts by writing them out, by speaking them and listening to them and just recording myself doing it. Very rarely did I role play with other agents. I might have role played here and there just so I could practice, but most of it was visualization, writing it out, and listening to myself say it over and over again. And then what happened is, as I'm writing it out, I'm realizing, you know what, I could say that just a little bit better, or I could ask that question just a little bit better, or I could dig just a little bit deeper here. Or when I was saying it, and I was listening to it while I drove down the road, I said, you know what, that kind of sounds stupid. I think I'm not gonna say that anymore. So you become your own best critic. You become a growing coach in your own. But the secret was I started spending 2 hours a day studying this, and I went from striking out on over 15 appointments to signing 16. And I didn't tell you this, I signed every appointment that month in October. Now, that was an awesome success that I had, but I blame it on the fact that Bob said, well, the secret to getting more contracts signed is by losing fewer, and you do that by getting great at your skill set. And that's by asking that magic question and getting great at those fear of loss questions in that introduction. Hopefully this helps you out, guys. Give me a bunch of thumbs up if it did. Also, I just want to remind you, on August 29th, I'm going to be interviewing two fearless agents, Chad Boyle and Cody Barton. They're both in their first full year with Fearless Agent and Mojo Sales, on track for well over 6 figures in their business. I love Chad's story too, because he left corporate America to go into real estate, and he's just crushing it, right? But we're going to be asking them questions. How do they convert so many appointments and do so many deals and do so successful using the Fearless Agent script along with the Mojo Sales Dialer and CRM? So if you guys want to get access to that, I'll post the link in the comments below after the video, and subscribe if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, and make sure to share this to other friends. If you're new and you're not a part with Fearless Agent, go to fearlessagent.com and get signed up, and those that are a part, okay? However, you can start to grow and leverage your business through leads. Now, I want to make a very clear that you have to make sure you're getting a return on your investment. So for example, one of the lead sources we do is through home values, but we only started this once I was leveraging my sales out to my to my sales team, not with my own efforts, right?